In 1970, an album appeared on the Philips label by an English studio conglomerate billing themselves as Hungry Wolf, and from it the track Custards Last Stand. Exception. Okay, and what we basically had there was a track that started out with a staccato frenetic combo organ in G, poked by the snaky guitar part. And then around the 30-second mark, the full band came in at full speed, doing this kind of like Staxy type progression in C. Then we get this a repeat of the first movement, just the organ and the guitar, and then the band comes back again. This time in more of a Motown type groove in instrumental groove in G, and rinse repeat. Yeah, I was hearing bits of Stax, Motown, and the organ rock combo of like Exception being the main point of comparison. And the title seems to be the title is a spoof of Custer's Last Stand. Yeah, because people often think it's custard rather than Custer. Yeah. And that track would reappear on another album put out by this Phantom group. Well, okay, here's the story. Hungry Wolf was an English brass rock psych studio project that yielded a self-titled album on Philips in 1970. The band consisted of session players and library musicians that concurrently grouped under the monikers Rumpelstiltskin and Ugly Custard. Yeah, and it was that Ugly Custard record that title, Custards Last Stand, also appeared on in like 1971. Yeah. Most tracks on the Hungry Wolf album were retitled, repurposed on the Alan Parker, Alan Hawkshaw KPM music release, Music for a Young Generation. Released in 1971 is number 1086 in the KPM 1000 series. Yeah, something in that library. Library music buffs tend to really pay attention to those numbers in the on those labels. Yeah, and let's see. Yeah, Alan Parker, Alan Hawkshaw, familiar names to fans of 70s library music. Herbie Flowers on bass. Yeah, very prolific drumming sessionaire. Yeah, and the Ugly Custard record, I guess, was, if I recall, rather similar to this one, maybe a bit more psychedelic tinged overall. And the Rumpelstiltskin was kind of like these guys entering into album oriented concept album hard rock. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, kind of going into like toe fat or type musical territory with like a concept album. Yeah, let's hear another track from the Hungry Wolf album. The track "Country Wild." Wow, that was Country Wild by Hungry Wolf. And we went through a lot of passages back and forth, back and forth. It started out with this brassy, rising intro that landed on this high sustain. And just as it was fading out, this really fast, Emerson like organ fugue took hold, flanked by some spaghetti western guitar twang and rattling metal percussion. And then the brassy theme repeated, and then we went into this slow bluesy groove in G with some wailing guitar, lyrical guitar. And then the fugue returned in E minor, and there's this rising intro. That intro, that rise came back again, only this time on organ without the brass. And then around just before the 2 minute mark, things really quieted down, almost came to a stop. And we heard the slow psychedelic organ sustain, kind of double tracked for about 40 seconds. And then this Latinized section commenced with some slow groove, bendy guitar, percussion, and flashes of Hammond organ. And then the fugue recapitulated for the last time. And there was this shimmery, echoey, psych-tinged outro. Yeah, covering a lot of territory, yeah, from a little bit spaghetti western at times, a bit psychedelic at times, a bit kind of brassy, Hollywood at times, yeah. Country Wild by Hungry Wolf. Let's hear one more track from the album, Melanie. was Melanie by Hungry Wolf, and I wonder what the significance of that title was. Is this about a certain Melanie, or yeah? And that one was a pretty simple number, beginning on a sustained piano note in low C with that real kind of echoey, I guess a grand piano, with like 1970 era studio mixing and such. Kind of piano sound you just don't really get much anymore on record. A drop to F amid a brassy blast and some ivory runs upward. I sometimes use the word ivory in lieu of piano for expedience. Leslie, and then we have the main pattern of the track, this Leslie guitar figure, just doing these kind of lyrical Leslie notes over this pattern of C to F to A flat, B flat, C, down, yeah, down, and down. And there were some dropouts in the middle there, brassy woodwind fill-in parts. And then the main figure that I was just describing took back over. This time with some scratchy, trebly rhythm guitar and sporadic flashes of the Hammond organ. And then things just kind of got enveloped by this rising, brassy climax. Yeah, that was Melanie by Hungry Wolf from the 1970 release Hungry Wolf on Philips. And before that, Country Wild and Custards Last Stand, two other standouts from the Hungry Wolf album, basically an English studio project influenced by the emerging, basically the emerging funk style in the United States. Basically funk, the nascent strands of funk, brass rock, and post-psych. Yeah. Coming together by musicians who were pretty adept at playing lots of different styles. Heck, that same year they also got their toes into the burgeoning hard rock sound, and yeah, and these guys would appear on all sorts of things in the years ahead, and the list of credits is just hundreds and hundreds of releases between these guys. Yeah, some other guys credited on the album: Clem Cattini, John on drums, John Edwards trombone, Tony Fisher trumpet, Ken Gouldie trombone, Cliff Hardy trombone, Bobby Haughey trumpet, Hawkshaw plays keyboards, Alan Parker guitar, yeah, the two Allens, keyboards and guitar, Peter Lee Stirling, vocals on some tracks, and we didn't have any vocals on these tracks, Derek Watkins trumpet, yeah. Anyway, and the ever ubiquitous Herbie Flowers on bass. Yeah. Anyway, for more rubies and sapphires from the Hungry Wolf album, see the directory of albums by English H artists linked in the description below. Like and subscribe, follow me on social media, share the video, and leave a comment if there are any observations you have about the three tracks we just heard. The interplay, the sections, the composition, the soloing, the ensemblic interplay, which were the best moments and such. And until next time, this is Zaragon, the world's most ear travel Trimax most, signing off.